What's up, people? So I was gonna do this video yesterday, but I kind of forgot. But today I'm doing it. Today I'm gonna rank the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. There are 9 of them because we're including Freddy vs. Jason. There are 8, I guess, technically official films, but I'm including Freddy vs. Jason because to me, that's a Freddy movie. He gets the story. I've explained it. So overall, my assessment of the franchise. Sorry for the loud airplane. My assessment of this franchise is I think the first 3, which I'm just getting spoilers. My top 3 are the first 3 movies. Which order? Well, my number 1 is the original. So that's a spoiler. But we'll see where everything else is. But I overall think the first 3 films are the best one, and then I think it just kind of declines in quality because Freddy just becomes a fucking joke. I mean, because it just becomes more about him becoming like dropping the funny one-liners and just. I mean, and like I said, it gradually got worse. It 4 I think was on the cusp. 5 and 6, especially 6, go full retard with it. So I just think if they had just let Freddy be scary, kind of go back to that roots, I think Freddy could work. It's just they make him too jokey in the later sequels. But overall, I think the franchise is good, and Robert England is he makes even like the really bad, well, minus Freddy's dead. He makes them tolerable. So we're gonna start off with the worst. So number 9 is Freddy's Dead. Of course, this was gonna be the worst one. This movie is awful. The characters are awful. I don't think they explored the thing with the daughter that well. I think I said in the review, should have got a different actress. I don't think she fits. She didn't fit. She felt like an actress you'd see in like a Lifetime movie or like a mom, like a kid's mom in a movie. She doesn't fit this franchise. She felt off. Freddy was a joke, and their whole big thing, oh, we're gonna be Freddy to the real world. So, a thing we've done multiple times already. It got kind of like, by that point, like, so that's how y'all are gonna beat Freddy? This was supposed to be the final one. At the time, this was marketed as the final nightmare. And what we got was, oh, we're gonna just bring Freddy to the real world. So we did that already. Did that in the first film. I think we did it in the second. We did it kind of. Well, we didn't do it in the third. I think they did it in the fourth. Like, they do them in a few of them. I mean, yeah, they even do it in Freddy vs. Jason. It's just like, it's ridiculous. The final act is just bad all around. Freddy wasn't scary at all in it. He gets his ass whooped by like everybody. The punk tough chick, his daughter in the end, who just somehow knows how to use fucking ninja stars. Okay, the psychiatrist guy with the bat. Like Freddy just gets his ass whooped, and the kills aren't the only kind of decent kill. I guess was Carlos's. I guess the dude who got his ears popped. I think that was a good one. And then just because it's a meme, the Nintendo Power Glove kill. But overall, this movie is bad and don't watch. Number 8 is the remake. Like I said, this movie, I think they should have won. Number 1, the whole making Freddy an outright pedo, I don't like. I don't like that they try to toy with, oh, he might be innocent, but then they drop it immediately. I think what they should have done is try to be a different movie than the original, because this felt like it wanted to be something different, but then they decided, no, we're just gonna make it a rip off. Like, we're gonna just steal shots from the first film. We're gonna basically have the same kind of pace as the first film. The one girl gets killed, and it looks like it's her boyfriend she's having some issues with. Then he gets killed in prison, basically. It wasn't executed the exact same way, but very much that formula. You know what? And like I said in the video, they should have killed Nancy. They should have killed Nancy. Because the chick who played, basically, I'll just say Felicity from Arrow, she should have been the lead. I think she seemed better fuck, I've already forgot her name. Rooney Mara, I think, is her name. She was just forgettable. All the human characters were forgettable. Jackie Earle Haley deserved a much better script. Because you gotta remember, too, this was his first really big movie after fucking Watchmen. Like, his awesome performance as Rorschach, right? And then he goes from that. Because I'm pretty sure he filmed this probably right after he got done with Watchmen. That's what the thing was. He wasn't a horrible Freddy. I think the design, the burns were too literal. He just looked like a burned guy. Freddy's burn looked distinct. The guy they in this, he just looks like a burn victim. Like I said, the whole pedo thing I don't like. I like the more implied pedo-ness of it. And I understand Wes Craven originally was gonna make him a pedo, but he changed his mind because of there were cases of teachers and all that happening, so he didn't want to seem like he was exploiting it. But he left the subtext, and I think it was better like that. I don't like him outright. And then, you know what? Another thing that would have made it different from the original, even though I agree Freddy is one of the. Though I've heard an argument against trying to make him innocent, is Freddy's outright evil. Next to Michael, he's one of the more evil outright slashers. So I agree to that extent, but I also do feel like, at least for this instance, you would have differentiated yourself from the original instead of, let's just do the bath scene again with Nancy. But a shitty version of it with CGI. Should have just tried to be different. Kill off Nancy. I actually think it would have been interesting if he was innocent and he just wants vengeance that way. It just doesn't make sense making him a pedo but not a child killer. Then why does he have the gloves? I don't know. Nightmare 2010 is horrible. So that's number 8. Number 7 is Freddy Nightmare 5. I think Nightmare 5 it has some okay. I like the bite kill, but it's the kill I'm thinking of that just makes this movie kind of goofy is the comic book kill where he's dressed like a comic book character. It's just they go too far with the Freddy being a joke. It started with the 4th one, but they go full with this one, and the weird shit with the whole Dream Child and the kid who Jacob was fucking terrible. I'm sorry, he was a terrible actor. He was not good. Nothing else really of major importance happened in this. The bite kill's really the kill where he makes the girl eat was fucking gross, and it's not even in a good way. It's just gross. And funny thing to note, this is Robert Englund's favorite one. Apparently, this was his favorite one to shoot. Like, according to him in interviews, I think he said he's had the most fun as Freddy with this movie, and I'm like, what the fuck? That just goes to show you, the actor, and no disrespect to Robert Englund, but it is just that's a trip. That not the first one or even the third one. This one was his favorite one because I guess he liked the weirdness of it. I think that's what works against this movie. And like I said, once again, it continues the culture of making Freddy a joke. So now we are in number 6, Nightmare 4. The Dream Master. Oh, I should have noted too, in 5, the one thing I will take 5 has over 4, Alice is a little bit better at 5. At least she stands out a bit more. I feel like in 4, now we're on number 4 now. I think, like I said, it was a mistake killing Nancy, and if the other problem was they couldn't get Patricia Arquette to come back as Kirsten or Kristen. Like, she, for whatever reason, I don't know if she didn't want to come back or they didn't ask her to come back, and so they replaced her with Tuesday Night. And that's like the one thing of this movie is the the song "Running from This Nightmare" is like the only thing that kind of stands out about it. You have fucking Freddy rapping with the, the fat boys. No man, like this Freddy with the glasses, he goes full goofy in this. It's not as bad like as I said in like 4, 5, and 6, but I do think it's kind of bad. Like the glasses was goofy, the making his claw, the shark, like a shark dorsal fin was cheesy. I didn't really like. I liked some of the kills. Like I think that was like one of the better aspects. I think the dream sequences were good, and there were some solid kills. Like especially the tough punk chick, the other one, who was like the fitness chick who got turned into a cockroach. I thought that kill was pretty gnarly. But then you had that one karate kill where basically it was a dude fighting nothing, fighting the air. I thought Alice was kind of boring in this. She should not have been the lead in this one. I always say they should never have killed Nancy. They should have never killed Nancy, and that's pretty much it about Nightmare 4. So next one is so we're on number 5. So now we're on the top 5, but really to me it's top 3 really, but I do think they're number 5 is Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I really do like this film, and Wes Craven was trying to fix this franchise. He was clearly trying to fix the ship because it just the franchise had I really say by starting with 4, but definitely with 5 and 6, it just the franchise went off the rails. So Wes Craven came back, and I do like the meta aspect about this movie. Um, like I said, it's kind of a blueprint for Scream. The only weakness is I think the kills weren't the greatest because a lot of the kills were just kills we've seen in other movies. Like the one dude was basically the motorcycle kill, and then when he killed the babysitter, that was just the skin the cat kill from the original. But I do like Freddy's look. I thought Heather Langenkamp did a good job in this. It was cool, like seeing the cast. It was at least, and I liked the intro, even if it was a dream scene. Um, but I thought, you know, it was overall a good film, and it was Wes Craven. He was trying to right the ship because Nightmare had just gotten off the rails really 3 times over. So he was trying to fix it. So I overall like this film, and I would say watch it, as like a add-on. Mainly watch the first 3, but then you could watch this as an add-on. Number 4 is Freddy versus Jason. If you look at this as just a straight up Freddy movie, I think it was nice. This was like the first time in a while they try to make Freddy kind of scary. Yeah, he only had 1 kill, but you gotta remember too. Even in some of the other ones, he doesn't kill a shitload of people. So that's why I understand going in with these movies. It's not like Halloween or Friday the 13th where it's about the body count. It's more about like at least the scary ones anyway, or about like the whole going in your mind and using your fears against you. It was more about like the actual horror of it. It wasn't necessarily about the kill count, because even in like the original, he didn't kill a lot of people. So that's one thing I think Ronnie Yu, who directed Freddy vs. Jason, I at least feel like Freddy at least was really good in it. He had his zingers obviously, but I also feel like he tried to bring that somewhat scary, like even having his voice much deeper. He didn't have no like super like nothing on the level of like the Power Glove or the stupid Wizard of Oz reference from fucking Freddy's Dead. It was nice that he tried to bring it back. So that's why it's my 5th favorite, and it's just in general I like Ryan. This was Robert Englund's last performance as Freddy also. So now we're on the top 3. Number 3, this is gonna really be an unpopular opinion. Nightmare 3. I like Nightmare 3 and I love this film. I think this film has an awesome soundtrack. You have a lot of good Freddy quotes, especially, Welcome to Primetime, bitch is a classic one. But the one thing I don't like about it is, like I said, and it's not necessarily this film's fault, but I do feel like it does kind of continue the trend. It kind of started the trend of making Freddy a jokester. I don't think they go full on in like they did in 4. I still think Freddy had his scary moments, especially like when he made the dude sleepwalking kill. I like that one. I like those moments, and it's just but like I said, overall, I still love the film. I love the dynamic of the kids. I love the Weston Hills setting. It was really, in a way, this was the truth Nightmare 2, because, we're continuing the story with Nancy. I also, the other reason I rate it slightly lower is I don't like that they killed Nancy. I think that was dumb. I don't think they should have killed her in 3. You could have killed her in 4. Then bring in Alice as, like, that new lead. But I do like Patricia Arquette's character. I like everybody, and I like the final act. I love the soundtrack. Obviously, is one of my favorite horror soundtracks. It's just like I don't think they should have killed Nancy, and I do think unwittingly this film kind of starts the trend of jokey Freddy. It's not as bad in this one, but it like in a way the blueprint for it. So, but other than that, it's an awesome film, and this is one like I would say if you want to look at Nightmare as like a trilogy, you can. Just watch these 3 films and you can be good. If you want it that way, if you kill off Nancy, it's not as bad if they kill Nancy in the third one if you just watch the third one. Like if you just watch the first 3 movies as a trilogy and then kind of leave it at that, then maybe watch Wes Craven's New Nightmare and then Freddy vs. Jason in Another Earth or type of deal. You can probably just do it that way, but yeah. So I think Nightmare 3 is awesome. A lot of famous kills, primetime bitch. You have a lot of good things about this film, and definitely love watching it. So now, before I get to my top 2, so number 2 is Nightmare 2. Um, and this is strictly, you can make an argument that maybe you might think Nightmare 2 might be a better film and a better Freddy movie. Because Nightmare 2 does break some rules, I will agree with that. But this is just me strictly on a slasher film aspect. And I think 2 has it better. I like the darker setting of 2 in general. I really love Freddy in this film. I do agree the dream scenes aren't as good, but I do really, like I said, the biggest thing I love about this film is Freddy. There are some, obviously the weird gay elements. Obviously, like the gay subtext stuff is a bit weird, but I can overlook it because I really kind of like the possession aspect too. I like I love the line. You got the body, I got the brain. I like the biggest thing, like I said, Freddy in those first 2 films to me was scary because they try to focus on him being a madman. He wasn't just dropping one-liners to be funny. It just felt like they went too far with it. That's why Freddy in those first 2 films to me, even a little bit, and I'll say in the third one too, somewhat too, but those first 2 especially, like, and I love Freddy's look. I like the burns better. Like he looks like fucking off-putting in those first 2 films. He looks super off-putting. So I love Freddy 2, Nightmare 2 as like strictly if I'm grading it who what I'm grading these movies also on which version of Freddy do I think is the best. And I think he was a bit better in 2 than he was in 3. Number 1 obviously is the original. I think you can't top the original. There are people who put 3 above 1. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love 3, but I just think the first one, this film is one of the greatest slasher films ever made. I honestly say greatest horror films ever made. Because like Halloween, this was something different. The whole dream aspect about it, like I just talked about with Chucky, you have that unbelievable aspect. You have that with this. Who's gonna believe you that some dude's trying to kill you in your dreams, and then you actually die? That's the crazy thing. That this is like the first, because up until that point, and I love, don't get me wrong, guys, I love, more often do I love Halloween and Friday the 13th a bit more. Yeah, but if it was something different, because up until that point, you just had guys with knives or machete just kind of hacking people off. This was something different. So Wes Craven like tapped into something, and Nancy was awesome in it. She was just a young high school girl. This is Johnny Depp's first role. You had a lot of like just I love the setting, I love the music, I love the intro. Obviously the iconic Tina kill or the iconic Johnny Depp kill, all of that. I like even the final act. I mean, if I were to, I think the final act's a little. I'll say it's not mad, but it's a little like she just tells him he's shit and he kind of disappears. I guess the point of it is you take away his power that way, but it's like and then it doesn't work in the third one. So it's fine. Um, Even with the tacked on ending, I don't mind it. It was obviously just to be like, oh, we're gonna do a sequel. But overall, I love Nightmare One. I love John Saxon as Nancy's father. He was awesome. I just think everything about that film is perfect. You can watch the first three films as a trilogy. You really can. Three, he gets ultimately defeated and Nancy dies. Even though, yeah, three does kind of leave it open for a sequel, but if you don't like the later sequels, you could just watch it as a trilogy. But overall, I like this franchise, and I'm very lenient somewhat on slashers. I'm not expecting like the most amazing writing in the fucking world. But Nightmare did give us a great female character like Nancy. And Nancy once again, this was a time when you can just write female characters like people. You don't have to do this cringy virtue signal unlike nowadays where you have to write a woman but she has to be like this boring nothing more than a Mary Sue who's just good at everything. Nancy was just a simple high school girl who had to adapt. Her parents didn't believe her. It was kind of her on her own in a way. I mean, and her boyfriend, I guess. And I like the little subplot of her, alcoholic mom too, and then learning the story of Freddy. But you don't learn too much. Oh, that was the other thing I should have mentioned in three. It was awesome getting like his backstory. That's the aspect of three I really love is learning, about how he was born. So, but the first one is just it was simple. You can't top it in one of the greatest slasher films ever made. So, but yeah, guys, that was my ranking. Nightmare on Elm Street's a 10 out of 10. So, um, but overall, I like this franchise. It was awesome getting into it because when I got into slashers, you can't just not get into Nightmare on Elm Street. That's one of the big ones, and I can see why some people like Freddy because one big reason a lot of people, and this is maybe why I'm a little bit not necessarily I don't like Freddy. I like Freddy, but why I think he's not as scary is because a lot of people like that he has a personality. It's the same reason why a lot of people like Chucky. They like that they have a personality. They're not just a silent killer who kills. But for me, I think that's kind of what makes it scarier on the opposite end. I think a silent killer is kind of scarier to me. Someone talking, especially Joker, when Freddy was scary, yeah, but like I said, the later films, it just becomes him joking at you, so it takes away. Yeah, he's about to kill you, but it's still joking about it. But nonetheless, Nightmare on Elm Street's an awesome franchise, and I say if you're a slasher fan, get into it. But just watch the third one. Okay, this would be what I would tell you to watch. Watch the first three. Um, you can maybe watch four, but really you can skip five and six. You can watch Wes Craven's New Nightmare. It may not be like a super exciting. Don't expect a hack and slash film. You know what I mean? None of them are, but like this, especially with Wes Craven's New Nightmare. New Nightmare is more of a story type of film. You can watch Freddy vs. Jason and then don't watch the remake. You honestly don't need to. I like no disrespect to Jackie Earle Haley, man. You don't need to watch it. He deserves better. But other than that, that's my assessment of the ranking of the Nightmare films. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna be doing two videos. I got a rant video I'm gonna be doing today because I gotta go in on Warner Brothers on this dumb shit that what I'm basically gonna be talking about what I'm gonna be doing if they don't continue the Snyderverse. So I'll talk about that, and then I'm gonna review Bride of Chucky, not Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky. So Other than that, guys, talk to you guys next time. Peace.